Running a small business means I wear lots of hats. When I put on my hiring hat, I can count on LinkedIn Hiring Pro to make it easy. LinkedIn Hiring Pro helps manage my hiring workflow, puts my job post in front of a unique network of professionals, and matches me with the best candidates for my business. I can also share my job with my network. No other job site lets me do that. No wonder most small businesses say they'd use LinkedIn Hiring Pro again. Hire right the first time. Post your job for free on LinkedIn today at linkedin.com/quality.
On this episode of Bantha Milk Podcast, bounty hunters galore.
Bring them in hot, bring them in cold.
Any way you want to.
I have.
Doesn't matter to me.
It's the Bantha Milk Podcast. Yeah! Pour a glass of that blue milk, we know it's gonna last. With Rob and James behind the controls, discussing Jedi, Sith, and all the plot holes. Every week we're back, can't be denied. Got the hot takes flowing and the canon clarified.
Yeah, and we're back. All right.
Yeah,
Sorry about my singing, folks, but we're back with another episode of Bantha Milk Podcast. He's James, I'm Rob, and we are here again. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
So, there's a little void right now in Star Wars stuff. James is very excited. He likes the Ninth Jedi.
I don't think there's a void
he
right now.
He doesn't think there's a void. Although, I will say this, depending on how much time you have to sit down at the sofa, you could have watched all of the Ninth Jedi in one day, and then you'd say there's a void.
It's true.
James has a job, whatever, that all 12 months now, boring. So he can't just sit down and watch all of the Ninth Jedi at one shot.
So I get to pace myself and enjoy it and stretch it out for a lot longer, and it's awesome.
Enjoy it over some time. So, but what we're going to do tonight, we got a couple different things to talk about. I have a book that is old and I didn't like. James has the Ninth Jedi to talk about. And then we broke down the top 10 most amazing bounty hunters in Star Wars history, according to James and Rob. You can argue with us, and honestly, I just found 10 that I liked. So I don't even know if it's if they're the 10 best. You tell me.
And I just added a random couple in there. So we're gonna go off the rails, and it's great.
It could be great. Whatever. So before we continue, of course, as always, I don't want to say I dropped the ball. I saw these in my refrigerator and said this is perfect. I don't need to go out and get some more. But I got your favorite, of course.
Shandy season?
It's definitely summer shandy season. It is in the 90s here in New Jersey.
Toasty.
Yes. How hot is it over there in Wisconsin? Is it in the 90s up there also, or just in the 80s?
No, we're in the 70s right now.
Wow, I
would
die for the 70s.
Yeah, exactly. So
yes,
it's nice. So I've got me a good 3 sheeps.
Oh, nice.
Aptly named Rebel Kent.
Oh, I like that.
It's like the rebel dream of nice farm fields everywhere to enjoy. So we'll see if this is a nice little amber.
That's interesting. Rebel Kent. So it's like a combination of Clark Kent and Rebels.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love
This is the Star Wars DC crossover we've all been looking for. Not necessarily the one announced at Gen Con this year, but that's for the news later.
That is for the news later. You can tell us all about that because I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, good.
All right, so I'm going to crack mine open. Hope it makes a little fuzz because I got a glass bottle here. Oh, I got a little pop. You got a little pop over there as well.
Sure did.
Wonderful. Cheers, my friend.
Cheers.
L'chaim. We know mine's delicious. How is yours?
Mine's really good. It's a really nice amber.
Nice.
Even a little bitter at the end of it. I'm kind of surprised, but it sits nicely.
Well, that's good. I like with drinks and food with layers. So if it's good in the first taste and then the back end, it's always fun.
It's from Wisconsin's East Coast, so I'm just going to credit that we're drinking the water of Lake Michigan, and that's what really gives it its depth of flavor, because obviously that's what's happening. So.
Exactly. I agree. I mean, if you're going to drink some water from a lake, might as well be, from that one. Definitely. So
it's not the Superior Lake, but we can't have them all.
You can't have them all. You can only have one of the 5 Great Lakes. You can't have all of them. So
exactly.
I still haven't put together my Lego helmet, but while we were in Walmart the other day, and I saw this one, and was like, wait a minute, I don't have the Kylo Ren helmet for some reason.
Oh.
And I thought the Kylo Ren helmet had already gone out of sales, commissioned, what did they call it? They
I don't know if
whatever.
they
Retire it.
out of
Yeah, I guess.
There's so many things it could be.
Yeah, so I thought that they had already retired it, and my Walmart just had like some leftover ones, so I made sure I ran back and grabbed it. But I did Google and look up today. It will be retired at the end of this year, December 31st. It is going to be retired, so it is a good thing that I got it now before it retired. I guess a big Christmas push would be nice.
Well, that's fun for you.
Yeah.
We just picked up 2 Lego sets as well. And by we, I mean my parents found them and gave them to my partner Tag for his birthday.
Okay.
And we just put those together this weekend. We did one with my parents. Funny enough, so Lego on their newer sets has like the app that you can build together. And it's a super nice experience. Everyone needs their own device.
Okay.
But like you get your own little instructions on your device. So, like my parents were on iPads, we were on our phones, and like you just kind of get to build things instead of like, all right, everyone share these 2 pages and try to figure out what you're going to do. So we had our things, and then we had to pass them back and forth occasionally when you needed them. But one of the things we built was the Sarlacc pit.
Okay.
And the little barge that goes with it, where we were dropping Han and Chewie and whatnot off.
Well, you know who got dropped off.
Well, yeah, exactly. So, spoilers for later.
Spoilers.
But it was neat because we had to keep on passing around like the Sarlacc pit base, and it's like, oh, it's my turn for the big base. Pass it over here.
Oh, that's fun.
And so, worked out really nice until the end when I got to just keep on building.
You're like,
and,
everybody sit back and
my dad
relax.
were
I'm
done.
going to finish building.
It was very nice to me. It was recommended for 1 to 3 people for a build. There were 4 of us, so I was like, well, you're just going to be sitting and waiting.
There
But
you go.
it was a really good shared building experience. So definitely a fan of building with the app instead of the instructions book if it's available
Very
and you're
cool.
building with multiple.
Very cool. I'll have to take a look at that and check that out. I my son texted me and he said, "Here, I have something for you to make for me." I was like, "Okay." He goes, "With your fancy 3D printer, I want the Cyclops mask from Marvel." His name's Cyclops,
from X-Men. Yep, absolutely.
So I went on a couple of the free sites and I was looking up and found one. I go, "What about this one?" He goes, "Oh, I guess so, whatever." And so then I found another one that he liked better because some of them were like a little bit more like full goggles. Others were just more almost like the Geordi main glasses from Star Trek. So,
that's funny.
Yeah, and I was like, do you want this for like Halloween costume? Or he goes, no, I just really like Cyclops and I saw somebody posted on TikTok and I want you to make me one. So I was like, okay.
Great.
So I found one and I printed it, and then as I was in the garage sanding it and bondoing it and all that good stuff to try and make it a little bit smoother, I saw a project that I started a long time ago and never finished, kind of like, it's hard to see through the arm here, but kind of like my Darth Vader helmet that was sitting out in my garage for over a year. I, after making a giant gonk droid that sits in my classroom, I made this little gonk droid, and the fun part about this is the bottom and the top piece that I can separate because I can put it on my desk and use it to put pencils or stuff or whatever in. But both of these are plastic containers for the little gel packs that you put in the dishwasher.
Oh, sure.
So the big one is the one you get from Costco, BJ's, Sam's Club, whatever. The
surplus
size. The smaller one is the one you would get at your normal grocery store / Walmart, Target, whatever. And as I saw them, I go, they would make a perfect gonk droid.
That's fantastic.
So the little feet, it was a whole little like gonk droid greebly 3D print set. The feet and legs were all one piece, and then the little front piece. And then I made the little like backwards E out of like a piece of cardboard or wood or whatever, and then glued it all together. And it was sitting in my garage forever. And then just the past 2 or 3 days, I was like, let me try painting it. I tried giving it a little bit of a weathered look, whatever. It's my first time. It's my first attempt at it.
It comes through really nice.
Okay, good.
So.
Because I just had like 4 different colors of spray paint, and I just started spraying on top of each other. And eventually, and I wanted to do 1 foot yellow for C-3PO because he has 1 silver leg. So this is my homage to C-3PO. So there we go.
Let's see if people recognize your gong droid.
Yep,
Absolutely.
So I made a little gonk droid. All right, before we continue, why don't you hit us up with the what's going on the rest of the network? Yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
It's kind of quiet, actually.
It is. Yeah, not a lot going on since our last post. 2 episodes for those of you following the whole network. Buena Vista Boys are continuing their 3rd season looking at Charlie the Lonesome Cougar. Great hit from 1967, I'm sure. And Ears Up, the main podcast, is back with their regular news show and that sort. But if those aren't looking for what you're trying to listen to, you can always dig into The Supreme Resort, Puny Pod, the MCU podcast, Scraping the Vault, or the Fantasyland Draft League.
Sounds good. I like all of them. All right. I guess we'll do news first, and then we'll talk about my book that I was very disappointed in. So,
absolutely.
Star Wars news. Star Wars news. Star Wars news. Star Wars news.
all right, I got 3 stories, and I think you have another one for us as well.
I have 7.
Oh.
So I'm ready to see how much we overlap.
Yes. So my first 3 are more like big chunks of stories.
All right, bring it on.
So the first one is everything Star Wars gamers need to know in August 2026. This is from SWTORS strategies.com. So Star Wars Gaming Strategies, whatever.com. All right, so, and the first one is something that I was like, oh, this looks like something, whatever. But anyway, August 1st, Lego Star Wars Castaways starts summer vacation. Now, have you played this game, Star Wars Castaways?
I have barely even heard of that game.
Yeah, me too. So I was like, maybe it's on iOS. And there is an iOS version that you can get on the App Store, but you have to get it if you have the Apple Arcade, apparently, because I tried to download it. And since I don't have Apple Arcade, it was like, well, you can buy Apple Arcade for $6.99. But Star Wars Castaways has launched on its returning summer vacation event for August. The limited time event runs through August 31st and offers themed minifigured parts, vehicles, and other customary rewards inspired by Lego Star Wars Summer Vacation. It replaces July's Revenge of the Sith-themed Sith movie event, giving Apple Arcade players another month of quests and cosmetics to unlock. Because apparently the safest way to enjoy a summer holiday is with the Lego Starfighters, Galactic Criminals, and several thousand detachable body parts. So if you have...
This is interesting. So I do have Apple Arcade, and I've played a decent handful of the games that were on there. One of my previous podcast attempts was playing Apple Arcade games with my brother.
Okay.
And we always had a really hard time with any of the games that were driven by some multiplayer because it was hard to find other people playing the game. And we're like, we don't know if it's because the service is small or if people kind of look at it as the perk of what it is. Because, you know, the catalog of games in Apple Arcade isn't the best.
Right.
There are some absolute gems in there. So if you do have Apple Arcade or haven't explored into it, games like Sneaky Sasquatch, games like Fantasian, and there's a bunch of others that I could go dig up and find if anyone's looking for recommendations. But there are some really good quality games out there. But the multiplayer ones just never worked. Like there was a Disney Battle Arena game that I kept trying to play, and it was just like, can't find anyone.
People
so
to play it.
Here's bots again.
Yeah.
It's like that's fine. Like just give me a bot mode so I don't have to wait the 2 minutes for you to tell me if there's nobody else playing.
Right, yeah. That's That stinks, but that's at least, maybe you try this one and let us know what you think of this as well.
The quality looks good. So
Yeah,
it's like,
I mean, like what I saw before, I was not allowed to download it. It looked pretty neat, so I was like,
Yep.
meh. All right, August 11th, the Darth Jar Jar event ends in Galaxy of Heroes. Star Wars Galaxy Heroes enters August with the era of myths and legends still underway. The current Darth Jar Jar event runs until August 11th, giving players a final window to complete progression. Today is the 10th as we record this, so if you're watching it live on YouTube, you still have one day. If you get it on Wednesday when we actually release it, it's too late. You missed it. Capital Games also deployed a July 31st hotfix, changing the error level receipts for levels 56 and 61. The developer reported that the initial deployment encountered a problem, so affected players should keep an eye on further updates before committing valuable resources. As usual, the most important Galaxy of Heroes ability remains checking 3 different menus before spending anything.
that game takes so much time and so much resources. Has grown so big. I haven't played it for 5-6 years now at this point.
Okay.
And it was already utterly massive. And now I know that they've grown a little bit because I'm still in touch with one person who plays, and it's like, oh man,
It's so big.
So yeah, awesome game, like really cool style, fun to be able to play with a lot of characters, but I was not good at. I can't have everything. Okay.
There was a Simpsons game, Simpsons Tapped Out, which was an iOS game that was like that, and every month and a half there would be a new update and new like things to get. And same thing, like I played it for probably 3 straight years or something like that, and my land was enormous because same thing, I had to get everything that I could get, and then like you learned how to do things to get more coins to be able to buy more stuff and whatever. And so every update, I was getting everything for every update, and my land was huge. So yeah, it is. They do become massive if you stick with it, which is very fun. But also, it's like, and it's fun to like go back and look and be like, oh my god, I remember when I got that or whatever. So throughout August, Battlefront 2 keeps its weekly events running. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is not receiving new content in August, but its automated weekly events continue. All right. August 18th, SWTOR, Galactic Season 11 begins. Star Wars The Old Republic launches Galactic Season 11, Light and Shadows, on August 18th. So you have some time. Rewards from Season 2 and 4 return, including the companion Fenzil and Amity. New additions include companion customization, armor, companion compatible mounts, titles, and stronghold labels. So you can update and bring back some old things if you didn't play it all the way back at the beginning.
Stuff for a long-running MMO.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Expected in August, Fortnite may get a Zero Company crossover. Fortnite has not officially announced a major Star Wars event for August. However, a reported Star Wars Zero Company crossover may arrive around the game's launch. The leaked promotion reportedly included a Farnsworth Trooper outfit, a loading screen, an emotion, and a spray. It may be connected to an Epic Games Store purchase or promotion rather than a standard item shop bundle. The exact date, price, and unlock requirements remain unconfirmed.
Well, they better hurry up. They only got like 3 weeks until Zero Company comes out. So
It comes out on August 27th, so they better, if they're going to sneak something in before then, they better do it quickly. So Star Wars Zero Company Bit Reactor single-play turn-based tactics game launches on August 27th for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X XS. The PC release is scheduled for 3 p.m. UTC. Player command Hawks and a squad of customized operators during the final years of the Clone Wars. Missions involve tactical positioning, injuries, relationships, vehicle support, and permanent character deaths on higher difficulties. The squad includes both authored characters and fully customizable recruits. So
I remember a big deal with this one because they said Anakin's going to be in the game. They haven't said if he's a playable character, at least not that I've seen. I think this game looks cool. I'm excited to play it. I have a Mac, and it's not coming to Mac, so I'm going to have to pop up my Xbox probably to play this one if it goes through. I haven't committed to a pre-order, though, so I'm waiting to see how the first week or two of it goes.
Okay.
But it's definitely a tactical game style that I enjoy.
Yeah.
So.
And the fact that it's, Clone Wars is fun. What was the other thing that I was going to ask you, but I don't remember now.
I don't know.
All right.
Cool replayability on this one with like different people that you can play with, different groups you can run through. I'm curious about the Fortnite crossover with it because I'm like, you don't have like necessary characters in this one that definitely fit. So I'm like, whatever, something to learn and see. So.
Yeah. So I found out what I was going to ask about, which is the permanent character deaths on the higher difficulties. Mm-hmm. That has always been such a topic for debate on video games because even with Star Wars Galaxies, one of the things that when they were finally introducing Jedi, the one thing that they were talking about was permadeath for Jedi. So if you died, you were done, which is always... people want the realism until their character dies, and then they're like, I want him back or her back. So
I like it on a higher difficulty because then you don't have to play with it. But if you want to have that like feeling of got to keep them safe, or is this time to sacrifice them? Like it feels like a good intentional choice.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Galactic Racer is building towards October. Star Wars Galactic Racer does not launch until October 6th, but its marketing campaign is gathering speed. So that'll be interesting to see how good it is and how August could bring more tracks, vehicles, multiplayer information, or extended gameplay as Fuse Games moves closer to release. So
yeah,
I'm
hearing good things about this.
Good,
so.
because I like racing games, but I like I'm a huge fan of Gran Turismo, which is, constantly building, constantly updating your vehicle, constantly changing your vehicle, constantly then, moving up into the next level so you can get a new vehicle, a new race, and all this good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on how much creativity there is in it will depend on, to me, how good it is. Like, Mario Kart is fun for what it is, but there's not a lot of individualism in there. Like, you can't upgrade the tires or the transmission or this or whatever or the weapons or anything like that. You get Luigi and that's it, so...
Well, nowadays you get new carts, and you can choose at least different carts, but you can't customize.
You still can't
carts,
customize the carts, yeah.
Yeah, I think Mario Kart peaked for the current iteration at Double Dash, where it's like you got the two characters to choose their special items that you can run with.
Yeah.
So, but the previews and everything, I think IGN had a preview of some of the gameplay and stuff and talked about it. And there's a lot of good noise going on around this of the customized features is going to be a good new entry into the racing franchise and maybe even shake a few things up.
Good.
So.
Well, that's what I want, because that's the only way you're going to get people to keep playing is to be able to customize it and to change it and grow and all that other good stuff. So hopefully that helps. The important Star Wars gaming dates for August. So that's it. So August 1st, Lego Star Wars Castaways. August 11th, Darth Jar Jar ends. Galactic Season, blah, blah, blah. All right, so that's Star Wars video games. I also have, because, we're huge fans of Lego, new Lego Star Wars releases, which is fun because they're coming out in August. There's 4 new Star Wars sets. One, which is interesting, the Hutt Palace Sentry Droid Showdown. This is only $50, and it's only 415 pieces. It's a giant, but it's small, I will say. The giant droid that Mando had to fight in Mando and Grogu.
The claymation one?
The claymation one, yeah. So they have
okay.
that. Let me see something here. I can...
Yeah, it's not the best piece value in terms of cost price. So
Yeah.
yeah, and that's not the most. I mean, that is very unique in terms of like color and pieces and the shape look. So that'd be an interesting build at least.
Yeah.
But
So it's an interesting build. It's not something that I'm like, meh, whatever. But it does have a couple of cool little figurines, which the figurines always wind up going for way more money than anything else. There's a little Grogu there with his circular chest piece.
absolutely,
A new
keep that armor on.
with his armor, a new variant on Mando, and who's the other guy with the hat? I forget what his name is.
That's Embo and Embo's little
Yes.
dog, essentially Sugi.
Yes, Embo and Sugi. So you get those 4 characters, which is pretty nice. It's funny. Hold on one second. I plugged in my power cable to the outlet, but not to my computer. It just started to go dark on me. I was like, why is it going dark? It's because my computer's not powered up. All right, I fixed it. Okay, we got that one.
Good.
There they are there. And then this is a neat one. Off-world sand crawler and mudhorn. So this is going back to the series because they even have Creel on here as well. This is the most surprising set of these new releases with a whopping price tag of $200 and 1,683 pieces. The Off-World Sandcrawler and Mudhorn set is the biggest and most expensive set of the lot. It has a lot of characters. Baby Grogu, another Mandalorian. This one looks really chromed out, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, bringing out that Beskar for sure.
Yeah. Couple of the
The
Jawas, and gray Jawas as opposed to brown. And Creel, we have spoken, is there as well. So that's pretty neat. A couple of different shots. It doesn't look as big as this kid's playing with it here as I expected. I thought it would be a little bit
Definitely
bigger.
Small pieces there for sure.
Yeah,
but-
the 1,600 pieces. Some of them are pretty tiny.
Yeah.
This one's neat. I'm pretty excited about this one. I don't know if I can start collecting the characters as well as all the helmets. Because they also have the Chewbacca character, and I think, I forget who else. C-3PO, they might have a C-3PO this
I
size.
think there's a K2SO as well.
Yes, yeah. And I'm like, oh. So they have a Boba Fett that stands, I would say, about 12 inches tall or so. Priced at $170, made of 1,544 pieces. It's the Boba Fett that we saw in Return of the Jedi. He's standing up nice and tall, the same size if you saw the ones we just talked about. He's the same size as all those. He does look really, really cool. He comes with his own little minifigure and the little plaque that says Boba Fett. Oh, here it is, over 16 inches tall.
Yeah, and he definitely has one of the better looks. Like these I've been really hesitant on because I feel like a lot of them are super blocky. And this one kind of seems like it's not overly blocky and smoothed out in a lot of places.
Yeah.
So definitely one of the ones I would be interested in more, but still not my style of Lego.
Yeah. I'm thinking I'm sticking with the helmets, and I'm just going to be sad that I didn't start doing the figurines also. But I'll live with that. And then last but not least is the Imperial Remnant AT-AT with a price tag of $160 and 1,453 pieces. This set comes with minifigures of the Mandalorian, Grogu, AT-AT Driver, Imperial Remnant Warlord, and 3 Snow Troopers. So the new Snow Troopers helmets is cool. So it is cool that they come with the new Snow Troopers. Once again, it looks like it's not the, $500, 20,000 piece, whatever the giant ones are, that once you build them, you have no place in your house for them. So this looks like even like a reasonable size that you could put on a shelf somewhere, and it's going to be a good piece to have there, not take up the entire wall.
Yeah. Maybe a month and a half too late though for trying to tie in more Mando and Grogu stuff.
Yeah,
but...
unless they're hoping to tie it in when it releases on Disney Plus, maybe.
I mean, that's a fair guess. So
they're like, and that's Tag's biggest pet peeve about movies and everything is, 60 days out, they're already released on streaming services. So they missed.
You got a good TV and speaker at home. What do you need, right?
Yeah. Like they missed the window for the movie. So we'll just release it for when it goes on Disney Plus. So we got those two. I'm trying to think. I had one more thing, and I must have. It was about. Where did my tab go? Oh, there it is. D23. Everything Star Wars at D23, the ultimate Disney fan experience. I'll pull this up now. So this is from StarWars.com because D23 starts Friday, August 14th. So if you're not there yet, go ahead and get your plane, train, or automobile ticket over to California
and see if you can get tickets for the fan event as well. I don't know if this sells out, but I know the tickets in some of these like events are hard to come by.
So
especially the big ones that are over at the
Honda
baseball
Center.
stadium where the Angels or the Honda Center. Yeah, that's what it is. Yep.
All right, so if you didn't get there, although some of these might even be streamed, I know they were doing some streaming stuff as well. So we'll see if they're going to be streamed or not. But Friday, August 14th, the LEGO Star Wars conversation with Shelby Young at 10 a.m. Go behind the bricks with the voice actress Shelby Young as she discusses her experience across various LEGO Star Wars projects. Ahsoka Spotlight at 12 p.m. at the Lucasfilm booth. Ahsoka's Iman Estefandi, I think I butchered his name, who plays Ezra, will be there. Creature and Character with Legacy Effects, 2 p.m. The creative effects studio that brought the Mandalorian, Grogu, and the Anzelians, is that how you say the little fellas?
I think it's Anzellans.
Anzellans to life about the craft of making lifelike creatures and costumes. That would be neat.
That would be very cool.
The Mando and Grogu meet and greet 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. So for the rest of the night, you can meet Mando and Grogu. Saturday, Hasbro bringing Star Wars characters to life through toys. That would be neat. Meet the makers. Join the Hasbro team for conversation about the creative journey behind bringing Star Wars characters from the screen into fans' hands through expressive interactive toy design. Designing the Mandalorian and Grogu. A conversation with Doug Chiang. Ever since I've seen him on the documentaries on Disney Plus, I always wanted to. I even reached out to him, and he's too big for us, so we didn't get to interview him. But
so smart. So
he's so awesome, and just like his whole history, how he loved Star Wars from a kid and all that good stuff. Join Lucasfilm Senior Vice President and Executive Design Director Doug Chen for a moderation conversation about bringing the Mandalorian and Grogu to the big screen. Hear firsthand how the film's environments, creatures, and vehicles were developed from concept to screen. Creatures and Characters with Legacy Effects at 2 p.m. And then meet the Mandalorian and Grogu again from 4, 5, 6, and 7 p.m.
Cycle it back, yeah.
Go back again.
Yep.
And then Sunday, the making of Star Wars The Experience, which I can't wait to go see.
Mm-hmm. Very cool to have that preview.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My dogs are barking like mad upstairs, so I'm texting my daughter to try and do something about it, which means that they'll just keep barking. Inside Star Wars Mall. Okay, the making of Star Wars The Experience, that's 10 a.m. So this is up. It even says it here. Join the Franklin Institute's Abby Baishi. We'll have to get her, because I'm from Philly. She should come on our podcast.
Just go knock on our door, yeah.
And MDSX's Dan Picard to provide you an in-depth look at curating the new Star Wars The Experience traveling exhibit to celebrate 50 years of the franchise and the fandom. Inside Star Wars Mall, Shadow Lord with Matt McNovitz. I can't say his last name. I apologize.
McNovitz is a good guess.
It's a good guess. All right.
It could be Mishnovitz.
Join head writer and executive producer Matt as he discusses the production process, creative journey, and powerful storytelling of Maul Shadow Lord Season 1. We liked that.
So good.
That was so good.
It was so good.
We should get him on the show. I think, unfortunately, your husband's not going to this year, so he can't go and schmooze up all these booths for us.
Nope, but I have to ask Teresa and Ryan now as the two co-hosts over on DL Weekly. So,
Creatures and Characters with Legacy Effects, 2 p.m. The same.
Another time around.
If you miss it the first time, you get the second time. And guess what?
Miss it the second time, see it the third time.
Guess what? We'll be there from 4, 5, 6, and 7 p.m.
Wow.
The Mandalorian and Grogu. Yes. So those are all the things at D23, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you want to see anything Star Wars, if you didn't get your tickets yet, anything Star Wars, you can go grab a seat at the booth and talk to all of them and hopefully meet Mandalorian and Grogu at least once. You have other news for us. And did I copy any of yours?
You got 2 of mine, so good work. So now I get to cover the rest.
Now you get to cover the rest.
Yeah. An unexpected crossover in the Star Wars universe. At Gen Con this year, Darth Vader himself walked on stage to confirm the biggest tabletop crossover of the year. An official Dungeons & Dragons Star Wars collaboration is coming out. D&D is working on a new Universes Beyond line, including Star Wars and the World of Warcraft. So we'll have a setting during the Galactic Civil War, and we'll see it late 2027 to coincide with the 50-year anniversary. So we got some time.
You got some time.
Really
you can
those books,
pace yourself. You can start. For those of you like me who like D&D but have never played it, you have time to learn and develop your knowledge of it so that you're ready when the Star Wars drops, you can play it.
I'm going to have to fix that for you. I've got like my fancy box right here where I keep stats and stuff for a character. I've got books on my shelves. Yeah. My only bummer is Star Wars already has like 2 plus different tabletop settings, including one from Fantasy Flight Games. That's really neat. So I'm worried that it's going to take over some of those other systems that exist.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. So. All right, story number 2. Lucasfilm scraps a droid-focused Star Wars movie. The Paddington 2 writer, Simon Farnaby, really important detail on that one, obviously. He revealed that him and director Paul King had been developing a new Star Wars film centered entirely on a droid character with no established Star Wars characters involved, going real fresh.
Okay.
But it was scrapped after Lucasfilm insisted it needed to feel more like a traditional Star Wars movie. All of this allegedly, of course. Mm-hmm. And so Farnaby says the concept isn't dead, it's just being reworked into a standalone sci-fi film outside the Star Wars universe instead. So...
Well, I guess if you create all characters that have no ties to Star Wars, you can just tweak them a little bit and have your whole other show there. So that is interesting.
Just generic sci-fi space.
Yeah.
I love it because that means we'll get to see what it could have been and what could have been in the universe, and I think that'll be really interesting.
I agree 100%. And I'm going to go support it.
Yes, absolutely. For the first time in franchise history, Star Wars A New Hope is getting a full Welsh language dub.
Oh, thank goodness.
I know, the one we all needed. And this is where I get to show off my extreme knowledge of Welsh, because Welsh, this will be called Gobaith Newdid.
Yep, you're right. You got it.
Yep, there's a letter in pronunciation there for all our Welsh listeners, which I'm sure is many.
There's many. I think I'm historically Welsh of some sort, so I should know how to
You should have corrected that one. So yes, so we got 2 names. Matthew Rhys as Han Solo and Rhys Ifans as Obi-Wan Kenobi. So Welsh viewers can watch it on Christmas Day on some sort of channel. And so look for a new Christmas tradition: Star Wars in Welsh. Obviously, the thing to do.
I wonder if I can follow along.
Worth a try, right? You probably know enough of the lines. You can learn a few things.
Probably. Be like, that's not what they say. They say this.
Moving back to other directors, you may have heard about a movie called The Odyssey that came out fairly recently.
Yes. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. In case you haven't heard that story. Wow. Yeah. But Christopher Nolan talked about it a little bit, and he said the opening title card for The Odyssey, where it says a time of apparent magic, was directly inspired from Star Wars is a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. He said he saw the original film as a kid, which he watched 12 times in the theaters. Nice. Someone loves movies, loves Star Wars. And he gives so much credit to Star Wars for teaching him how to frame a story for an audience, right down to how he balanced Odysseus's cleverness against a pure hero, the same way Star Wars balances Han Solo against Luke Skywalker.
Nice. All right.
I always love hearing people be like, I got my influence from here. Yes. And when it's something I love, I just love that one that much more.
Yes, exactly. But and I don't want to say it's easy because the Star Wars movies, especially the original trilogy, were so well done and well loved by so many generations of people that it is great to hear people be like, I saw this movie and wanted to make my own movies. So, yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah. So that's neat. And last one for you, those of you heading to the parks, at some point, the Disneyland Droid Depot is getting a new interactive animatronic you can build. It kind of looks like an Ewok. It's called a Batu Adventure Buddy.
Oh, I did see this. Yes.
Yeah, full of motorized facial expressions and giggling sound effects. And comments online have been talking about its unsettling teeth a lot. And I miss that, but I'm like, this is probably going to be a good thing to get more traffic into the Droid Depot. From a distance, I haven't stared at the teeth long enough to be unsettled myself. I'm like, that's super cute. People are going to love seeing this. Like the eyes move and everything.
The ears move, the eyes move.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of pictures of it up on the screen right now. So I'm guessing it's like the little yellow teeth in there, maybe like the lips moving up and down, make it look like the teeth or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was just like something you're going to be able to buy at Target or something like that. But okay, so it's in the Droid Depot, which is interesting.
The Droid Depot, starting this week as we are recording, August 13th. You should be able to make your own, and if you like the little extra costumes that come with it, it's there.
It's there. You can you can decorate them. You can dress them up in little different costumes.
Haven't found a price yet though, so we'll wait and see.
Well, how much are the droids going for now? Are they like $150?
I don't know what the droids run for because the lightsaber moved up a lot. Yeah. So
I'm sure it's probably got to be about $150 for a stuffed animal.
That feels like a good guess.
Yeah.
For a glorified Build-A-Bear with unsettling teeth.
With unsettling teeth. Yeah. Take home a Batu Adventure Buddy.
It's a great name.
It is a good name.
I can't wait for everyone to just be walking around with their babs.
Yeah, their babs. But yes, okay. So now in a closer image, I do see the teeth more, and they are a little too realistic and a little too creepy. Yes, I do see that.
I don't want to look.
Yeah.
So.
All the questions are, how much do you think it's going to be? So nobody's telling you how much it is. But yeah, the teeth are definitely a little. Well, if you think of what Wicket, when you saw a close up of him, he did have some a little creepy teeth as well. So they went for the realism there with like, oh, well, he had creepy teeth, so we'll have creepy teeth too. Yeah. Sure, why not? All right, is that your last of the news?
That's it.
All right, awesome. Well, we're going to jump right from the news. We're going to let you keep talking.
Good.
Because...
Yeah. I'm the Jedi of the week. I've been running it like I've been Yoda for a minute. Putting on a clinic with my homie Obi-Wan Kenobi. Can you feel it? I'm the field like a real one. Yeah.
I'm the real one. Obi-Wan Kenobi, that's you. You are the Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Absolutely.
So we got through all of the letters of the alphabet originally. Yes, we got all the way to Z.
We got through everything that I could find something reasonable for.
Perfect.
So now I just get to pick whatever I feel like.
Now it's a free-for-all.
Or whatever I think fits with kind of our topic of the night. It's kind of where I'm going.
I like it.
So as I was thinking about us talking about bounty hunters, I'm like, well, is there something kind of like that? And I kind of went back to the now defunct mobile game Star Wars Hunters, also figuring we might have some video game news updates. So there are a couple of like Force users in there, but my favorite from that game was J3DI, a droid who was built by another combatant in the arena called Sprocket, because the Grand Arena originally wanted a real Jedi Knight, but there just weren't that many left in the post-Empire world. So it was kind of hard to find someone who could actually really fit that bill or fight with a lightsaber. We kind of found a Sithy person, but that's not really important. But you can see J3DI right there staring at you. He's fully loaded with his blue lightsaber, data bank of Jedi wisdom, and a full suite of simulated Force abilities. My favorite being Force Pull, where his arm just shoots out with a cable, grabs someone, and tries to pull them back to him.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Yeah, so smart with how they simulated this.
I like how you're
and
simulated Jedi abilities, and that's that is it.
Exactly what it is. And he can block, which is the other thing that he kind of got from it. So he would be in the arena with the other bounty hunters, Wookiees, characters, and everything that's inside of it. But this was the joy of J3DI is he wasn't really faking it. Robot really thought he was a real Jedi Knight. And that's what he was programmed to be. Just right there. Talks like a Jedi, fights like a Jedi, carries himself with someone who's fully versed in the Jedi text and everything. It's cute.
It is cute. That's fun. Well, there we go.
So maybe Rob, when you get the right programming and you're strong enough, you too could become a Jedi.
Yes. Well, going into the Labyrinth of Evil, I was the book that I was reading. Oh darn it! Now I forget his name. The half droid, half creature that was Dooku's apprentice with 4 lightsabers.
Oh, General Grievous.
General Grievous, yep. Yeah. In the book, they go into detail about his programming to learn the Jedi ways. He just studied and read all of them, and then was able to, since he was all droid, was able to just simulate all those things as well. So if you're enough droid, you can just program all of your servos and stuff to just think you're a Jedi, just like J3SIOPQR did.
J3DI, short for Jedi.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. Learning.
It's brilliant naming convention.
That's going to be my new license plate. J3DI. There you go. So, yeah. So, if you can't be a real Jedi, then just program a droid to be one for you. So,
there you go.
Awesome.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. All right. Well, before we do get into my book review, my book report, your ninth sister report, and then the main topic of which of these bounty hunters are awesome. Let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we will have lots to discuss on the main topics now that we got through the news and the Jedi of the Week.
Running a small business means I wear lots of hats. When I put on my hiring hat, I can count on LinkedIn Hiring Pro to make it easy. LinkedIn Hiring Pro helps manage my hiring workflow, puts my job post in front of a unique network of professionals, and matches me with the best candidates for my business. I can also share my job with my network. No other job site lets me do that. No wonder most small businesses say they'd use LinkedIn Hiring Pro again. Hire right the first time. Post your job for free on LinkedIn today at linkedin.com/quality.
And we're back.
Hello.
I hope you enjoyed that product. Maybe go get it. It'll be awesome.
Or save your money for your Batu Adventure Buddy.
Yes,
so, yep.
You definitely need your Batu Adventure Buddy. So I have the... Oh, that's funny. I have... it's not Lego, but it's...
Mega Blocks.
Even different. I'm looking at...
Oh. Digging real deep.
Yeah. This might even be... This was it's like... It might have been like a fake Lego, maybe Mega Blocks or whatever it was, but they made a Boba Fett.
A Boba Fett.
Figure, which it was a lot more, if you look at it closely, you can see it's just a lot of big pieces that just snap together a lot easier.
Yeah,
it's not 1,400 pieces, but it's funny because I just looked over on the shelf and I was like, "Hey,
there he is, staring right
at me." I gotta gently put him back up there. Got one of these characters long time ago. Actually, my guy that I work with went to the parks, and I said, when you go there, get him for me because I want to have him on the podcast. And
I just see that creature. That's like a salacious
B. Chrome,
right?
yeah, he's the
Yeah,
same one.
I always just hear the laugh. So
Yeah. I think the batteries, or maybe there's an on-off switch to the laugh because he opens his mouth, but he doesn't laugh.
might be for the best.
But yeah, like
so.
this, I have a feeling that the Batu Buddy is going to be just like this. Like he's very interactive in the park, but when you take him home, is the Batu Buddy's ears and stuff going to move, or are you going to have to do whatever?
Hard to say.
But yeah, like this guy has just been sitting on a shelf, and he was, I don't know how much he was now, I don't remember, but like he was fun to walk around the park, or that guy who's walking around the park with him on your shoulder when it's 110 degrees outside with 200% humidity.
Yep.
But yeah, speaking of that, your trip, how was Epcot?
Epcot was great. We had a really fantastic day in Epcot. There's nothing Star Wars in Epcot. So, but we did travel through space with the Guardians of the Galaxy and with Dame Judi Dench. Two very different space experiences. Thank the Phoenicians. But Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is absolutely incredible. We had fun wandering around.
Did you ride it twice?
Epcot, the World Showcase. We did.
Okay.
Yep.
How long was the non-fast pass wait?
That was a little over an hour.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't too bad.
It wasn't too bad. We got there decent time in the morning. Like, we didn't rope drop it because we knew that would be where the line and the wait would be. And so we waited until kind of the first pass before the park picked up at lunch. And it worked out really well for us to kind of be in that queue. In the fast pass or lightning lane or whatever it is called nowadays, it wasn't too busy, so that worked out really nice.
Awesome. Yeah, I forgot to ask how your trip went, and then you also went to the
Epic Universe for our
as
second
well.
day, and that was great. That park is fantastic. The attractions are great. It's just going to keep getting better as they expand, build new portals, and like as the trees and everything else just really settle in.
Yeah.
Like that park is going to be really the standard for future parks to come.
That's awesome.
Definite fan of that.
All right. So from all positive, now it's my turn to bring up some negative. Because, I'm the East Coast guy, so we're always angry about everything. Look at that.
I have that book as well in a 3-parter.
You have all 3 pages, so all 3 books.
I do.
So,
I was like, surprise, I have it too.
I am not going to read part 2 because I was so disappointed in part 1.
Part 2 is Revenge of the Sith. So.
Yeah, and that's... So here's the deal. Like, I love James Lucindo. I think all of his later books have been amazing. I've liked every book that I've read except for this one from him. So I will say that. This one did come out in 2005. So I don't know if it was a writing of the time where at the time you got paid by the word or how it went. But there were some chapters that start where you can't even, like, you have to read it 6 times because it was just a colossal amount of giant words. I don't remember if I sent it to you or if I just took pictures. I think I even just took pictures of it because I wanted to save it. But it was just all as many large words as he could put together.
That's how I felt going through that first chapter because I started reading through some of it again just so I could have something to say with you. But I was reading the first book. I'm like, man, I must have dumbed myself down with what I'm reading because there's a lot of big words here and a lot of things that are saying things I'm not exactly sure what I'm reading.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to your example.
This is like analogous, Analogous, almost like analogous, to introducing a covert malignancy to the body politic of the Republic, then monitoring its spread from one organ to another until the mass reached such size that it began to disrupt vital systems. I'm like, this is a Star Wars book. Like, I should... this should be a little bit easier of a read. So, I didn't like that. So many of the chapters started with just, like, giant word after word, and I was like, are you just trying to make us feel like we're stupid as I'm reading this?
There's a lot of chapters. Like there's 50 plus chapters.
Yeah.
So they're short chapters.
They're short,
by all
yes.
means.
But just some of, and then like I almost felt like he went for like a paragraph where he was trying to show how smart he was, and then the rest of the chapter was dumbed down for the idiots like me. So it was like, okay, I got through the hard paragraph. Now I'm going to be able to understand the rest of it.
Yep.
And also the other thing that I didn't like, the first, since you said the second book was Revenge of the Sith.
Yep.
Like the first 114 pages kept going back and referencing the movies and being like a retelling of the movie and retelling of this part and then this part. And I'm like, I saw the movie. I don't need to read the movie. I want to read a different story. So it was like 100 pages in before it actually got to the story that we wanted to get to. Then, like I said, I'm like reading all these giant paragraphs where it's just like, what is happening here? What am I doing here? The one thing I will say, there was a great end of chapter 53. So almost at the end. And chapter 53 is like 3 pages. Let's see. That what seems... Okay. In essence, he told me to flee while it was still possible. He said that dark times are coming. Okay, Padme looked at him askance. Another word. In what way, 3PO? So C-3PO is telling Padme this. Padme says, let's see. Come here to me before it's too late. Her gaze lowered as she caught sight of C-3PO parting company with a silver protocol droid that disappeared into the crowd. What was that about, 3PO? She asked as he approached. A most curious encounter, mistress, C-3PO said. I think that shiny droid fancies himself something of a seer. Now, I do really enjoy when authors write quotes for characters and it sounds like the characters in the movies. So I do enjoy that. And that definitely sounded like C-3PO was saying that. Padme looked at him askance. In what way, 3PO? In essence, he told me to flee while it was still possible. He said that dark times are coming, and that the line that separates good and bad will become blurred. That what seems good now will prove evil, and that what seems evil will prove good. Sensing there was more, Padme waited. C-3PO's photoreceptors locked on Padme. He said further that I should accept a memory wipe if it is ever offered to me, because the only alternative will be to live in fear and confusion for the rest of my days. I was like, oh, it's so easy to write. Not easy to do this, but like it's so great to be able to write about what's going to happen, knowing that it already happened and it's already been documented and all that good stuff. So that was like a shining part to this book. I was like, ooh, that was good. And then the thing that I hated the most of the book is they're like building up to this big fight and this and that and whatever. And I'm like, okay, like they're trying to... Dooku is escaping. And the other problem with books, and we've talked about this, and when I had John Jackson Miller on, he talked about this also, about how like you're not allowed to kill any of the important people. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do that. So it's like, they're not catching Dooku because he's in the movie after this. They're not killing Grievous because he's in the movie after this. But like they could still have some kind of a battle with Grievous where maybe he's injured and, he can heal himself and all that stuff and whatever.
Figure things out,
So it's like, ooh, that would be fun. But you get to the very end and it's like, oh my gosh, are they going to get him or are they not going to get him? And then it ends with these 3 words, to be continued. And I was like, I just read 362 pages. 112 of those pages were retelling of the movies. And then you end it with to be continued? You don't even like wrap it up and then have the second book being like, okay, well, that came to an end, kind of. this doesn't even come to an end. This is just like, come back next week for part 2. And it's like, no, I don't want that. So, James, I'm sorry you dropped the ball on this one. All of your other books I love so much. But this one, and I almost like put it down halfway through. There's only one other book ever that I put down halfway through, a Star Wars book. I was just like, and I think it was also during that time where it felt like this person was just getting paid by the word because they were going on and on, like me describing a book, going on and on and on, and like get to the point already. Yeah, I was like, I can't do this. So yeah,
there was one take in the book that I really enjoyed. That at least for the part that I've gotten to, and it was like how much Anakin probably enjoyed, especially at the end when he became Darth Vader, being sent to Mustafar to take care of all the Separatist leaders because of all the pain and trouble that they had brought into Padme and everyone else that he cared about in the world. Yeah. That was probably one of his easiest missions. So like when he gets that like look on his face that almost has that smile when he closes down the doors and you know what's coming, I'm like, there's something personal about that. Oh yeah. And I never put that together of like, it's not just him like following orders and ending this Separatist war. It's really him looking back of like my turn.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a lot of good in this book. Don't get me wrong. Like you said, that there is a growing moment between Anakin and Obi-Wan, and so there is good in there, but getting through the bad was very frustrating and annoying to me, especially since I'm not a good reader and I don't read a lot. Like, my wife could have finished this book in half the amount of time that it took me to get through it. So she could have got through it, in half the time and been like, whatever, moved on. But me, I was like, I need to finish this book. And I was like, ugh. I did grab 2 new books that came today, an Ahsoka book called Ahsoka.
I have that one. Okay. It's good.
And I also got the new the love story, the Eyes... Eyes,
I can't wait
whatever.
For your review on that one.
Yeah. So I'm gonna read that one to see what that's like. So, So that's my goal for the rest of the summer is to finish those 2 books up. So there we go. So that's my review. It's a 2005 book, so you don't have to go back and read it. But I would recommend not, unfortunately.
And its legacy, your expanded universe.
Yeah.
So
it's in the Legends.
Never truly canon.
Yeah, Legends series. Yeah. So. Whatever. It was what it was. I did like they did the Grievous storyline, the Dooku storyline. There was a lot like learning in there as well, which was fun, but I just couldn't get through it. I just didn't like it. Yep. So sorry, James. I didn't like it. Now you have a much better thing to talk about.
Much happier to talk about.
There's something called the 9th Jedi that just came out.
Star Wars finally has a full-flown anime series, not just anime shorts. So this is following 2 initial episodes inside of Star Wars Visions that iconically has a guy just handing out lightsabers to strangers who showed up at an open call. Hey, you might have Sith power or Force powers? Yeah, come here and get a laser sword.
Come get a laser sword.
What a fascinating thing. So just to recap before we jump into the new ones, just for a little bit of context behind things. So the 9th Jedi first episode came out 2001 with the beginning of Star Wars Visions. And so the short film is the guy named Margrave Juro, who's ruling a planet. He's on a mission to bring back the Jedi Order. Step 1 of the plan: mine some kyber crystals, build some lightsabers, and find some people who will come and get them and be part of it. Great plan. Yep. So a girl named Kara, her dad's the guy who actually builds the lightsabers, flies the finished sabers up to the temple to start handing them out. Turns out some of the people who showed up aren't actually Jedi. They're Sith in disguise. Whoa! No. The fight breaks out. Kara's proving that she's a Jedi in the process. Episode 2 comes out in Visions Volume 3, so they skipped one of the series, 2025, so not long ago. Direct sequel. Kara gets separated from the group that she's kind of falling around with, drifts into an abandoned ship. She meets this adorable, lonely little droid that's living there, I wrote down his name is Tito, but I don't remember that for sure, and so I'm going off memory on that one. But I love this droid,
Yeah.
and you will love this droid too, because he's been guarding his master, who's been in cryo sleep for who knows how long. And cryo sleep can go on and on and
Yeah.
on.
Uh-huh.
So it's part of the sad episode. She helps the droid reach his master. Master's not actually in cryosleep anymore. Droid sacrifices himself to save Kara from the bounty hunters, and then we spill right into the new show where we find out that Kara's dad has now been captured by the main villain. Okay. So now you have that perfect context. You should just go watch those episodes to understand it if you're going to do this. So there's 8 episodes in this series now. I'm only going to talk about the first 2 just because there's a lot to talk about in
Sure.
things. But I will try to keep it short and try to entice you into this one. Because we pick up right where we left off and we go right into the action. Juro and company and the ship are fleeing away a much bigger warship piloted by one of the villains named Genoa, who was basically the last Sith left in the galaxy and now the seemingly big bag Nawam's right hand. So flying right in, they eventually spoiler, talking about what happens in the show. So I really should probably do this. They're able to sneak away with a cool maneuver. They go meet one of Jiro's old friends. They fight off a droid invasion. It's a pretty cool scene as they go through it. Jiro finds an old friend and does exactly what he does, and he gives him a lightsaber because he just hands out lightsabers to
everybody.
everyone. And the guy's like, I don't want it. He's like, nah, here you go.
You want
it's
it,
fine.
take it. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought it was neat. Had a really cool vibe of like what I felt like a lot of the serialized 90s cartoons had with this story that they're kind of building up, but you got your main characters that you're going through.
Okay.
Maybe even 80s cartoons kind of with some of the animation style that goes with it
Yeah.
too. Anyway, episode 2, we're still looking for allies. We're still looking for friends. They go to a colony of coal miners living inside a hollowed out asteroid run by Jiro's old childhood friend. Now, this is so cool. The idea that they've turned this floating asteroid that they're mining into a ship, like with engines and everything. Such a great idea. Something that would so happen in the Star Wars universe. And so Jiro shows up. Guy immediately throws down. It's like, here's some swords, time to fight. They go through a few things. They have some conflict. The big bad shows up with some issues as well. Eventually, Jiro tries to give another person a lightsaber.
More lightsabers. He's like Oprah with lightsabers.
He really is. And I'm like, I thought lightsabers were rare at this point, but apparently not. This guy's just got like
handing them
hundreds
out.
of them. You get a lightsaber, you get a lightsaber. And then kind of leave on a little bit of a cliffhanger. I'm a little disappointed perhaps by the ending because I'm like, here we go doing something we've kind of already done before. But I think they're kind of going about it maybe in an interesting way with like the power of kyber crystals and things of the sort. Not trying to say too much. But I think there's some really good stuff coming for it. But if someone who's an old friend or maybe a stranger hands you a lightsaber, are you going to actually turn the lightsaber on and use it?
I mean, I'm going to turn it on to see what it does. I don't know if I'm going to use it because I'm not going to know how to use it. And I can just imagine me like cutting off a hand instead of actually doing something good with it.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. So, yeah. So that's the condensed version of 2 30-minute episodes, probably including credits in that runtime. But the stories move well. The animation is great. Maul's animation still is like my absolute favorite style I've seen so far. But this is paying good homage to like a classic anime kind of style. And everything, it looks nice. The storyline seems like it's going to be pretty well, and the characters are interesting. There's already been 1 or 2 twists as well that I haven't even talked about. I'm not going to talk about. So
I did watch most of the first episode, and I do like when they were doing the outside shots of the spaceships flying through space. They were so like smooth and crisp and really like well animated. It looked really, really good. But then when they went inside the cabins, it was more in that anime style of people talking and like
very much
the jumping around and all that stuff of like traditional anime on the inside. But when they were doing wide like setup shots and stuff like that, the animation was really, really strong and really, really detailed, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
It's funny, in the TV show, is it Invincible? I think is what it's called.
Okay, that's one of like the superhero movie shows or whatever.
Yeah, the superhero. Yep. There was a whole episode that they based on explaining to the audience how animation works. They were like, sometimes when we're talking, we won't even have the camera on the mouth moving because we'll just have like the back of the heads. So that way it's less things that we have to animate. Or we'll go to a real wide shot where you can't see their mouth moving. Or
cutaway options.
And they were going through all the different ways that they go around sneaking around, how they can make it cheaper every time, that any way that they can make it cheaper by using less film or less images and things like that and whatever. So it was funny how they were describing that to the audience as they were doing it. It was pretty funny. And that this reminded me that like the supporting shots were all so like detailed, but then they definitely cut corners on other parts and things like that. So that's the first 2 episodes. We have 6 more to go from James over the next couple of weeks. So if you want to binge it all came out in one day. You could binge the whole thing. You could pace yourself through it, whatever you want to do, and enjoy it slowly and enjoy James's breakdowns of 2 at a time or 3 at a time, however we get to it.
See how ambitious I feel?
Yeah. So we got that going on now. An hour into this, we're going to get to what we've been teasing the whole time, which is all of our favorite bounty hunters. And I just need to find that slide. Here it is.
So some people just get paid for their work, and that's why they do it. So
yeah, so there we go. So that's what happened. So we have 10 plus of the most amazing bounty hunters in Star Wars. All right. So the very first one, as you know or don't know, is my favorite. And it's interesting. I originally didn't like one who's on this list later on. And I think I should actually like him more than Boba. But Boba Fett is a human male crime lord and former bounty hunter whose career spanned decades. We saw him the first time in Empire Strikes Back when Darth Vader specifically turns to him and says, "No disintegration." Because he had a rifle that was also illegal. You're not allowed to do disintegration in Star Wars. But he still had one because he's a bounty hunter. So that's how we first met him, as well as a crew of a bunch of other ones that we're going to talk about in a little bit. But he only had a few lines in the movie, but became a huge fan favorite. I also enjoyed very much the very first time that we saw Boba Fett. He was walking in a parade in Pasadena, all in white, because he was supposed to originally. They thought maybe he was going. He was going to be a like a just super
like elite Imperial,
right?
Super
Imperial stormtrooper type thing. So there's a shot of him walking with Darth Vader. He's all in white, and then they decided to change it around a little bit. It wasn't going to be a super Imperial costume. Instead, he was going to be a bounty hunter, and they painted him green and all that other good stuff. So
I like that because it expanded the universe, showed kind of how grungy it is. That it's like it's not just the Empire. Sometimes they gotta to pay to get help. And Boba Fett's just such an interesting one with like his history and everything.
Yeah. So then his history is the fact that, and I also like how Star Wars does this, which is so awesome, is then they decided, okay, we'll give a little bit of backstory on him. He is a pure clone of Jango Fett. So Jango Fett's his dad, but actually not his dad. Would a clone be like a brother?
Or it's like him again?
Again? Like, it's interesting. So, but Jango Fett was the DNA that they used to make all of the clones in the clone army from, the first 3 movies of Star Wars. And he wanted a perfect replica of himself. He didn't want one that was enhanced at all, and that's where Boba Fett came from. He was his clone of Jango Fett. So we got to see him in the first 3 movies as a kid, and then he watches his dad get his head cut off, and then takes the armor and says, I'm going to change it a little bit and give different colors to it as I get older. By the way, where was Jango's head when he lifted the helmet up? Is it like strapped in there still? Those,
I think it fell out when the helmet bounced around after Mace Windu beheaded him. So I think there's a quick shadow that's been edited in that it flies out to the side
later
now.
on. Okay.
So yeah, but you bring up a good point of like how Boba Fett, especially in like the Clone Wars episodes, was just like such a hateful and vengeful kid. And like to turn into this like incredibly polished and like down to business bounty hunter is so fascinating of a pivot of how he kind of dealt with it. And, I was kind of hoping that we'd get some more of that in like Book of Boba Fett. And we got some origin stuff, but not enough that really like turned him into this like cold killing machine. If anything, I think they kind of softened him up.
They did.
A little too much.
And it was like the rebirth of Boba Fett basically. And like you said, he was a softer whatever, and as I always used to say, dad bod Boba Fett too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was a little interesting, but so we got to learn. Go back in episodes 1, 2, and 3. You get to learn about young Boba Fett and his anger, and then we don't see him again until we see him in Empire. Well, take it back. We do see him in the Clone Wars for a while there as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it is fun. We do learn a lot about him. He is the ultimate bounty hunter, and even like when they were coming out with the Mandalorian movie or TV series, it was originally thought to be a Boba Fett show.
It really
that
was.
way,
Yeah.
and it would have been really cool to see Boba Fett use all of his armor and all of his stuff the way Mando does. So if you ever wanted to see what Boba Fett really does, just watch The Mandalorian, because that's, in my opinion, what Mando should have been, or what Boba should have been was what Mando turned out to be. So our first bounty hunter is Boba Fett.
Speaking of Mando,
Here he is. The second bounty hunter is Din Djarin, otherwise known as the Mandalorian. I mean, we had a whole series based off of him. He, in my opinion, was a great what Disney Plus needed. I feel like he did a really, really good job. The series, the first series was awesome. We learn a little bit more about, more retconning and changing things and seeing what Mandalorian culture is like. And, before the Mandalorian season and before Din Djarin, he might not even be a true originally born on the planet of Mandalore, because they were taking everybody in and, was Jango Fett even a true Mandalorian or not? Like, we don't even know if he was actually born on Mandalore or not.
Yep.
But, yeah, so he winds up being the greatest bounty hunter of the Dave Filoni era. I really enjoyed him. And it was funny, if you want to see some of the best parts of The Mandalorian, you have to watch half of Book of Boba Fett, because there's like 3 really good episodes in Book of Boba Fett that are all about the Mandalorian and Grogu's experience and all that good stuff. So
yeah, I think the Mandalorian's funny because as we were making this list of bounty hunters, I'm like, there are so many bounty hunters, or at least retired or tangentially bounty hunters inside the whole Mandalorian series. That's like we could have just spent our time on this because he picks up Fennec Shand. Grief Karga was definitely a bounty hunter of some sort in his days. IG-11 gets reprogrammed, and so it's like we just have those 3 immediately, let alone the other ones.
And there was like a scene where they had a bounty puck because he had Grogu, so all of these other bounty hunters were all trying to kill him, and we could just in one scene, I think there was probably like 8 more bounty hunters that were trying to kill him to get Grogu to get the prize, so we could go through all those as well. But yeah, so me personally, I really, really like Mando. I like Mando because he, like I said, he's what Boba Fett, the new Boba Fett story should have been. We could have had a whole Boba Fett of all the different things. Why was he the top one? You know, like there's a couple Mandalorian or bounty hunter books which are really fun, and you get to experience and learn why Boba Fett is so good compared to all the other ones. And that's what Din Djarin turned out to be.
Yeah, and Din becomes interesting because you get character growth as well, which we didn't necessarily see, because like started off like strict moral code, following the creed, and then starts breaking it as he goes through to protect Grogu and everything. And it's just fascinating how like never becomes like ruthless mercenary by any means, always has like purpose and something behind like his morals and integrity. But never quite what you expect in a full-fledged bounty hunter. And so I think that's what makes him so interesting and so deserving.
So deserving, yeah, exactly. All right. Dad, are you home? Jango Fett is the next one, which, I mean, between what we learned about Boba and then Jango, you know, Jango is the original one. Jango was, this says, a famed Mandalorian human male bounty hunter. Species human, according to Wikipedia, so he's not even species as Mandalorian. He's
just wears the armor because he thinks it's cool or helps him stand out or whatever the case is. Like there's no loyalty. He's just a freelance gunner and he can stand out because of it, and that makes him super interesting.
Yeah, and he was considered the best bounty hunter in the final years of the Galactic Republic, which is why they wanted to hire him to use him to make the clones. He had lots of weapons, a flamethrower, a Westar 34 blaster pistols, and a jetpack. Jetpacks are always fun.
His pistols made some of the coolest noises.
Oh, yeah.
And let alone the seismic charges that they get as well. Some of the greatest sound effects in the movies. So
and it was interesting. Like, I don't know. I think just because his armor was a little bit more basic than what Boba's armor looked like, when they first like showed him instead of Boba, I was like, man, whatever. But like now that, you know, I'm a dad, I'm like, maybe I should like Jango more than Boba because he's he's the dad. Hailing from the planet Concord Dawn, Fett was a foundling of the Mandalorians, trained by a mentor known partially as Jace, and as a Mandalorian warrior, fought in the Mandalorian Civil Wars before becoming a bounty hunter. We talked about when we saw him, you know, and his clone, how he became the DNA for all the clones and all that good stuff. But he was a pretty badass bounty hunter for back in the day as well. All right, moving on. Cad Bane. I love this guy.
Cad Bane's great, like especially in the Clone Wars. He was just super cool, always a step ahead of people. Like there was a reason that he lasted and was in charge. Still pretty cool in Mandalorian, but they definitely felt like it showed his age compared to the reliability he had of a Jedi hunter. By all means.
He was like a huge throwback to Westerns, which was awesome. He talked like an old Western guy. He had the big brim hat.
The hat was so good.
The hat is so good. It's such a great Western hat. The trench coat, everything. Like, he was just such... even like when he walked, there were the spurs sound.
Yeah, he had that bounce, didn't he?
So it's like, don't need him at all. He never rode a horse. You know, it was always a speeder bike or something like that. But, yeah, he was really cool. He's a Duros species. Mercenary in a galaxy whose career spanned from the fall of the Galactic Republic to the reign of the Galactic Empire and into the era of the New Republic. Once a street rat, Bane first became involved in criminal activity when he joined the gangster Laszlo's gang. After Laszlo's death, Bane grew in infamy after he killed both a marshal and his former friend Nero as revenge, eventually becoming a bounty hunter. After the unceremonious demise of Jango Fett at the Battle of Geonosis in 22 BBY, Bane was now considered the best one and one of the most experienced bounty hunters of the era. Although his infamy grew during the Clone Wars in particular, Bane had a high standard both within the underworld and amongst other bounty hunters. Yeah, he's so cool. I really like. And
he worked for anyone. It was great.
Yeah. He didn't. If you paid him, that's all he cared about. So yeah, so he's awesome. All right, moving on from Cad Bane. Aurora Singh talking about the Mandalorian known as Boba Fett. This is who trained him and taught him.
At least for a while,
At least for a little while there. Also known by the name of Nashta, was a Force-sensitive female, I don't even know how to say her, Polduvian, who left the Jedi Order to take up the life of a bounty hunter. So here you go. This could be one of your Jedi of the Weeks because she's a Jedi and a bounty hunter.
She was a Jedi in Legends, not a Jedi in canon.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. It was a cool angle. Like, really neat that it was like, oh, that's really neat. But no, it wasn't the case.
Wasn't the case. She also became acquainted with the weak-play pirate Captain Hondo Onako. After the outbreak of the Clone Wars and the death of fellow bounty hunter Jango Fett, Singh trained Fett's son Boba and helped him in an unsuccessful attempt to kill Jedi Master Mace Windu, who killed Jango on Geonosis. After parting ways with Boba, Singh took jobs from Zero the Hutt and Cad Bane. Singh's long and storied career, however, ultimately came to an end with her death at the hands of Tobias Beckett.
It's a throwaway mention in Solo, but you do see her in Episode 1. She's at the pod race watching.
She is. So. She is at the pod race watching, so you do see her there. And she also was in, supposedly she's in some Darth Maul in 2017. We might see her in that.
On the comics?
Yeah,
sure.
and then she's in some Clone Wars.
Clone Wars,
yes.
yep.
So,
really working with Boba Fett and everything, pushing him towards terrible choices.
As a true bounty hunter mother would do, push him into doing some terrible choices.
Mass casualties are a good idea.
Good idea. Do this. Kill lots of people. This is a good idea. All right. So she's very bad. All right. Moving on. This is the one you put down here.
I did. Sam Wessel. Gotta love her. Showing up in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
Yes.
Yeah, so she's a Claudite from the Zolan system, so she could change forms, and that's why she had that changeling thing going. But mostly she was in this female form that she went to. And I think this is one of the funniest chains of things that happen, and maybe some of the worst plot that happens, because Darth Sidious told Count Dooku, we need to kill Padme Amidala. So Count Dooku hired Jango Fett to go kill Amidala. And he decided, no, I'll just hire Sam Wessel to do it. And she's like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to send a droid to do it. And the droid's like, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to set these 2 bugs inside of her apartment to do it. So we've just gone through this whole chain of things of like, we're trying to kill Padme, but no one wants to be the one to do it.
Yeah, they just keep offering it off and sending it down to other people instead.
Yeah. And then, continuing on, we get this great chase of, like, Obi-Wan and Anakin chasing her down through the city. Jango Fett, who's in the city, could have just gone and killed Padme, but no, instead goes and kills Sam with the dart that sends them to Kamino and opens up this whole story of things to happen. If the bounty hunter would just done the job he was hired for, we get a whole different kind of story, because Anakin suddenly doesn't have his wife anymore, which may or may not lead to his fall of the dark side anyway. But, like, wow, so many things could have happened, all because we have this bounty hunter that is just, like, there to fail, unlike every other bounty hunter.
So here's my question to you, because the female body of Zam Wessel, which is played by a character Lee Anna Walsman, she was born in Sydney, Australia. Did she pass away?
Well, that'd be sad.
Yeah, because it says, unless they're just saying, no, it just says born November 22nd, 79. Okay. It's just the way it was worded. It made it sound like that she's deceased, but no. So she's this Australian actress. Her character, and she is quite stunning. And when she is the female Zam Wessel bounty hunter, very attractive. Then when she gets darted and turns back into her original form, not an attractive character by any means there.
You can see both those on screen and make your own choices.
So which way would she be dating more? Like, do you think she finds her human figure to be more attractive than her whatever her native species figure is, and like
I'm guessing at a minimum she's just like, I blend in more.
oh,
like this.
that's a good one. She blends in more, yes. But I can only imagine. Talk about what's the word?
Body issues.
Well, body issues, but catfish, being catfished.
Oh, catfishing. Yeah.
Can you imagine? You meet her in a bar.
I got a surprise for you.
Yeah. You meet her in a bar, you get some drinks, she says, let's go back to my place, and then you wake up in the middle of the night and she's sleeping and she's in her normal body form. That is a catfish by all means. Oh, my goodness.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I did enjoy Zam Wesell. I really wish that there was more of this character. Like, she was in it for 5 minutes after she just, like, releases these other bugs and says, you go do it. I don't want to do it.
Absolutely.
So,
at least we know not all bounty hunters have to be amazing, like Cad Bane or Boba Fett.
Yeah.
So,
and it's also funny that they just kept going down to weaker and weaker bounty hunters, and like, oh yeah, whatever. Big mistakes. This is the one we just we looked at the new Lego versions of these. You got
Embo showed up. So Embo making the biggest play most recently in Mando and Grogu, as that big villain going after. Iconic for the hat and using it as like a shield and a weapon, as well as the other bit of weaponry that goes with it. And just the pets that come with. I think he might have had multiple pets as he goes through time frame, because I think there was Sugi at one point. I think there was Marok at another point. I might just be making this up, and that's all very possible too. But like, just super cool that he just kind of was like very honorable and very much that samurai kind of way.
Yeah. I'm looking at the Wikipedia page, seeing if he has Suji. Skills and equipments, behind the scenes appearances. It doesn't say. Let's see down here.
I think Suji might have been one of the other bounty hunters that showed up in the other episodes. So,
yeah, I don't see anything real quickly. Oh, here we go. Nope, he's searching for people. Later, Embo is presented with 11 other bounty hunters. Bodyguard for the Hutts. Suji, Dengar, and Lattice Razzie when Darth Maul threatened the Council.
Marok is the close companion.
Okay.
Suji is another kid. So,
okay.
Yeah, knew I'd get something confused
There you
somewhere.
go. All right, well, we figured it out. There we go. Good.
Thank goodness.
Yes. All right. This is a fun one. This one I forgot about, and then I was like, oh, yeah, I remember him in the Clone Wars. Racco Hardeen. And you might have to explain this a little bit better to me, because I'm trying to read the Wikipedia, and I was getting confused in the opening paragraph here. But
yeah, so Hardeen's interesting, because Hardeen's not necessarily known for being the bounty hunter himself, but rather the one that someone impersonated.
Yeah. So he's Obi-Wan Kenobi impersonated him. Also known as the Marksman of Concord Dawn, was a human male bounty hunter and marksman for the Mandalorian planet Concord Dawn in 20 BBY. He was hired to assassinate Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, and seemingly succeeded in the Coruscant underworld. Unbeknownst to Hardeen, he had in fact been hired by the Jedi Order, who faked Kenobi's death as part of a plan to send him undercover, disguised as his own killer, to investigate a plot against Supreme Chancellor Palpatine. So they hired him, and then did they kidnap him, basically, after the supposed assassination?
Yeah, Kenobi and Mace Windu both captured him.
Okay.
So he kind of got plopped out there, so that way Kenobi could go and cosplay as Hardeen.
As Hardeen, yeah. So there's two different people, but the interesting thing, taken captive by Kenobi and Mace Windu, Kenobi disguised as Hardeen via a facial transformation program and vocal emulator, subsequently infiltrated the Separatist plot to abduct the Chancellor at the Festival of Lights on Naboo. Now, that being said, the behind the scenes of this is pretty interesting. Racco Hardeen first appeared in the episode Deception of Star Wars: The Clone Wars television series, which aired on January 20th, 2012. The character was voiced by James Arnold Taylor, who also voiced Obi-Wan Kenobi in the series. During production, series executive, producer, and Star Wars creator, some guy named George Lucas. Never heard of him before.
I think I've heard of him.
Yeah, you've heard of him? Okay.
Yeah, that name's familiar.
It sounds familiar too. Wanted Hardeen to be played by a different actor in order to have the character's voice be distinct from Kenobi's. However, executive producer Carrie Silver and series director Dave Filoni cast Taylor as the voice of Hardeen, as they knew the actor was capable of pulling off the unique voice that was required. Lucas was unaware of the casting decision until Silver and Filoni revealed it to him after playing a voice clip of Hardeen for him to check if he liked the actor chosen for the role. He said he liked it, and then they go, oh, by the way, that's the same guy who plays Obi-Wan. So they said, George, we know better than you. So I thought that was a little bit interesting about it. But yeah, but this guy's...
That's so interesting.
Yeah, but this guy's interesting because he got duped, kidnapped, and then Obi-Wan pretended to be him. So there we go. Next one. Axe.
Yeah. Cool name. And wanted to give the sequels a little bit of a chance to have a bounty hunter that exists, because there's just not a lot out there. So this is an Itachi bounty hunter from Star Wars Resistance. So Axe shows up in like 2 self-contained episodes and is never heard from again. So you kind of get to make your own opinion. But like the outfit is great.
Mm-hmm.
The vibro axe that he fights with, super cool, as well as kind of the blaster. He's blind in an eye, so like, you know that we're really doing some really cool stuff. But he is the opposite of Mando, because he is aligning with the First Order because they're winning and they're paying, and that's all he cares about.
That's all he cares about.
And I'm like, well, at least he's got his code that he sticks to on this one.
I'm going to stay with the team that's winning, and they're paying me.
Yeah, so...
And this was in Resistance.
That's the best of the sequels. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so... I mean, look, we've talked about how much Resistance isn't bad. It just isn't as good as the other ones.
Absolutely, so...
All right, the next...
And definitely not as good as this.
No, the next one was the original 6. We got Dengar, we got IG-88, Boba Fett, Bosk, Forlom, and Zuckuss. And... they were all the ones, the first time that the words bounty hunter was spoken, it was to these 6 people here. Now, I'm going to try and do something real fast. Let's see if this will work. Because we have... hopefully this will play through.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I wanted to play the clip that started it all.
Where we learned about bounty hunters and how we all just get established and enjoy.
Yes, and it was really funny if you look at the costumes, especially Bosk. It looks like a Halloween costume.
Mm-hmm.
The arms, the feet are just this like rubber lizard costume. And the mask, he can't even like talk because the masks are so bad.
I just like the claws and how he's holding the gun.
Yeah, like it's just, the claws are so long. He's like, he only has 3 claws. He has 1 claw in the gun somehow, whatever. The IG-88, all he does is turn his head a little bit. I'm pretty sure he's bolted to the ground in real life, as well as Forlom never moves. I don't even think there's a person inside of there. And then Dengar, it almost looked like they had like a mummy costume, but it was like falling apart. So they were like, quick, throw some other
Throw
things
some
on.
armor on
Throw
it.
some,
It's fine.
yeah, it's just fine. It's perfect. Oh, and then these 6 ragtag guys wound up being what everybody loves about Star Wars. They're just like, oh my god, I remember, wanting the action figures, and they were just like a huge hit, and they were in the movie for all of 38 seconds.
Yeah. And let's be honest, not all these bounty hunters are created equal. I'm guessing most people would not remember Zuckuss.
No.
Most people would not remember Forlong.
No.
And then the other 3, Bosk, Dengar, and IG-88, at least had other roles somewhere. Like Tag remembers Bosk and Dengar and Boba Fett distinctly from the Star Wars Battlefront games. Dengar having the incredible line of "You're gonna take a dirt nap" is just great. And so it's like there is a scale of bounty hunters that kind of exists.
Yeah.
So
it was so funny, but for these 6 starting it all, it's just it's crazy. So I wanted to have all of them on there at one time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Was that the last one?
That's it. That's our end of these iconic bounty
hunters. There we
hunters.
Go. Awesome.
And there's 70 more that we could have
We
talked
could
about
have
at some
talked
point,
about.
with a lot of them just being background characters in Mando or in the cantina.
Oh my God, there
Or
are so
Maz's
many things in the
probably,
cantina.
so.
But yeah, there's there's some other really good ones too. Like you said, Grief Karga, Cara Dune, Black Chrysanthemum was really cool. He had a huge push in the comics. From what I learned, I didn't read the comics, as you know, but huge push in the comics. And then when you saw him in Book of Boba Fett, it was pretty cool. And at least they didn't make him out to be a huge chump in the Book of Boba Fett. He did was able to hold his own there for a little while. So there's other ones that we could go through, but whatever. Fennec Shand, Asajj Ventress, so. And like you said, there's 70 others, so I could just start naming people. But yes,
It'll be really good.
There's 70 others that we could talk about. But yep, so that's that. So that's our rundown of 10 of the bounty hunters. Whether they're the 10 best or not, it's up to you. You tell us if we got them right, if we got them wrong. Who should we have talked about? Who did we miss? IG-11 was awesome in the original Mandalorian series. He was so good. We could have had him in there. But yeah, so I don't know. All right, James, anything else you want to add?
No, I think it's just time to accept our bounty hunter creed.
I think it is. It is time for us to say, we have spoken.
We have spoken.
All right, I think YouTube is done.
NFL football season is here, which means when you switch to Verizon, it feels like
touchdown,
because you get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube on us when you buy an eligible 5G phone on select unlimited plans, which means you can watch every out-of-market game every Sunday afternoon, and it's all on us. Now that's the Verizon way to kick off the NFL football season right. Switch and get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube on us, only with Verizon.
This episode is brought to you by ChatGPT. Hey, it's Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast. Have you guys heard about ChatGPT work? It's the new way to use ChatGPT for bigger multi-step projects. And when you need more than just answers, give ChatGPT work access to your apps and files, and it can create real work documents like spreadsheets, slides, and structured reports. Get started at chatgpt.com by selecting work mode, available on Plus and Pro plans.